What's good, fam? I know y'all seen the mess online, but nah, you ain't heard it broke down like this before. Y'all ready for some stuff Drake and his team really tried to keep quiet? Like, I promise you, this ain't your average rundown. By the time we through with this video, you gonna see exactly why Drake out here running from his own tour and why the entire game looking at him funny. And you know what? The wildest part is, Kendrick damn near called him out on the biggest stage possible, and Drake still couldn't hold it together. So if you rocking with Drake, bruh, this might sting a little, but the truth don't care about your feelings. Buckle up, cause I'm about to tell you why Drizzy took the biggest L of his career and how Kendrick's Super Bowl shot just made all this worse than anybody thought. And wait till you hear what actually went down with them canceled shows. Cause that story right there is nastier than anybody want to admit. L for Drizzy, certified. Like, let's get right to it. Drake's so-called world tour, nah, it ain't a tour if the only thing traveling is the refunds. Real talk, dude was hyping up all these cities, promising something special for all his diehard OVO fans, and in the end, whole thing straight collapsed. People out here holding tickets from months ago, waiting on a date that's never coming. Like, imagine you scrape together some bread, you excited, you finally get to see your favorite rapper live, and next thing you know, shows postponed with that classic PR statement. We apologize for the inconvenience due to circumstances beyond our control. Bruh, circumstances beyond your control? You had months to plan. Fans left looking goofy, waiting and waiting. When deep down, Drake and his camp knew there wasn't enough hype, no crowd to fill up them arenas. And instead of keeping it a buck, they just slow walked everybody to a non-refundable L. But peep this, it ain't just unlucky timing or travel logistics, like they claim. The fans that did cop tickets ain't even get a proper heads up. Like, bro, some of these folks waited 5 whole months just to hear that the show was off for good. Meanwhile, Drake out here on IG flexing, acting like he ain't owe nobody a thing. No direct statement, no apology with some real accountability. Not even a proper explanation, just some recycled PRBS. And the craziest part, there's OVO stands still defending him online, talking about he'll reschedule. Bro, he's not coming back. Not after how empty them seats was looking. Not after that Kendrick Super Bowl performance blew the whole energy of hip-hop wide open. Drake couldn't even keep up with the motion, so he dipped, left his real fans holding nothing but dust and empty receipts. Now y'all want to talk about shows that was actually moving something. Kendrick Lamar took the halftime show and flipped the script. Dudes everywhere caught that. His performance wasn't just another flashy concert. He had everybody's attention, even people who don't mess with hip-hop like that. And best believe, Kendrick did not miss the chance to throw a little shade. He didn't have to say Drake's name, but you knew who he was aiming at when he was dropping lines about fake kings and running the game. There's something different about actually commanding a stage, bringing culture together, showing respect to where this music came from. Kendrick showed out and proved he's really the one carrying this rap torch now, while Drake stuck trying to keep fans interested with the weak OVO karaoke nights. That hurt to admit, but that's facts. And here's where it get ugly. Everybody want to make excuses for Drake, right? Oh, he just needed a break, or he'll make it up on the next tour. Nah, that's not how legends move. You don't see Kendrick ducking out and giving people the silent treatment. When things get rough, real artists double down and give the fans a show they'll never forget. Meanwhile, Drake takes an L, cancels, disappears, and expects us all to pretend like it ain't happened. You gonna tell me it's not about the ticket sales? Look, every time Kendrick set foot on a stage after that Super Bowl, he turned the place upside down. Tickets selling out, energy wild. Folks from all backgrounds coming together to witness history. Drake tried to ride that same wave, but when he couldn't pull enough support, he packed up shop and went ghost. And the story gets even nastier when you look at what else was happening behind the scenes. See, Drake and his camp started pointing fingers, claiming it was unforeseen problems or venue issues, but real ones can see straight through that. The cold hard fact is, when you can't move tickets, when stadiums ain't packed like they used to be, it's a hit to the ego. Drake ain't want them pictures floating around online with half-filled arenas. Folks clowning him for falling off, especially when Kendrick out here breaking records and sweeping up awards. He'd rather hard cancel the whole thing than show weakness. But all he ended up doing was exposing the fact that his core fans ain't as deep as his IG following make it seem. And the wildest part, Drake tried to hide from reality by floating this idea he'd come back when the schedule permits. Yo, you believe that? I got a bridge to sell you. This dude can put out an album overnight, but somehow can't figure out how to circle back to a city and perform? It only takes some basic honesty, bruh. If the shows ain't popping, just say that. People respect transparency way more than being strung along. But this is why fans slowly waking up, realizing maybe it's time to support artists who actually respect the people that made them rich in the first place. And before I hit you with what Kendrick did next and how the legal drama started swirling, I gotta tap in with y'all real quick. If you've been rocking with the video this far, let me know what you think. Drop your thoughts below on whether you feel Drake still got his spot or if this fall off is for real. Hit that subscribe and run up the likes if you want more real takes, cause ain't no way we letting the industry sweep this under the rug. Got a lot more heat coming, so don't miss out. But like I was saying, just when Drake thought he could sweep it under the rug, Kendrick came out swinging, not just with the Super Bowl, but then he started making some real moves that put more pressure on Drake than ever before. I mean, let's be real, the beef between these two been bubbling for years, but lately has reached a boiling point. After that Super Bowl shot, it was like the music industry started picking sides for real. Kendrick went and dropped Not Like Us, and that track instantly caught the whole world's attention. Not just fans, but the actual music industry, critics, and even Drake's peers started throwing their opinions in the mix. So Drake tried to clap back in his own way, but let's be honest, his responses was lightweight. Dropped a collab album with Party Next Door, probably thinking the hype would get people back on his side. But the numbers don't lie. The project barely made a splash, and folks was more interested in Kendrick's next move. To make it worse, there was rumors of legal tension bubbling. Drake's team putting pressure on Universal Music Group after Kendrick's track dropped, floating around words like defamation and threatening to take things to court. All of a sudden, it wasn't just music anymore, it was getting personal and messy, and Drake ain't looked comfortable for even a second. Stay tuned, because the story about these lawsuits and Grammy moments, trust, it gets crazier. It ain't over, and it sure as hell ain't looking good for Drake. This only gets wilder from here. But here's where things took a wild turn. The whole legal situation started getting ugly. Word hit that Drake, instead of standing on business and letting his music do the talking, had his team come at Universal Music Group, trying to claim that Kendrick's Not Like Us crossed some imaginary line. Now imagine that, one of the so-called top dogs in rap, out here calling lawyers every time his feelings get bruised. You a superstar or a baby with a paper cut, bruh? That's not hip hop. That's not how the culture moves. Drake making moves like that just shows he ain't built for this pressure. And honestly, it's embarrassing for anybody who ever called him the GOAT. He wanted everything controlled, everything manicured, but soon as somebody ruffled his image, he treated the mic like it's evidence in a court case, not a tool for real expression. While Drizzy off on his legal power trip, Kendrick was busy turning the entire Grammy stage into a victory lap. Not Like Us didn't just come through and win. It washed the comp, no debate. The same single that had Drake on his crew clutching their pearls, trembling over some lyrics, went and picked up the awards that Drake probably thought was his for the taking. Kendrick ain't skip a beat either. His acceptance speech was all about acknowledging the legacy of hip-hop, the power of staying authentic, and the importance of repping the truth. Meanwhile, Drake couldn't even stand in the same room, literally and figuratively. Couldn't congratulate, couldn't address it head on. He just faded to the background, posting cryptic IG stories from some fancy vacation villa, looking shook. Now, let's talk about that Grammy moment, because for real, it might have been the final straw for a lot of folks. The room, the energy, the respect. Even old heads who've been side-eyeing Kendrick since the Control days had to admit bro made history. Not Like Us was more than just a diss or a battle track. It became a real anthem, a cultural touchstone that'll get played years from now, while Drake's late career collabs already gathering dust in the streaming basement. And look, that's not just my opinion. Peep the timelines, go check what artists, producers, even execs been saying online. Kendrick's run changed how people look at being real, being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, and accepting the wins and the L's. All the while, what did Drake do? He kept chasing the same formula. Yet another album rollout, another vague statement about the haters, more throwaway bars with Party Next Door, but it's all noise at this point. Not a single track had people talking like Kendrick did. Nobody quoting Drizzy on Twitter like they was a couple of years ago. Drake was once the dude everybody wanted to imitate, and now all we get is recycled sounds and monthly attempts to catch up to a wave he already missed. You can really feel the desperation, like dudes trying everything to get back in that spotlight, but none of it stick because the fans see through it. And yo, this got a sting for the OVO day ones. Like, for years y'all been screaming Drake's untouchable, but even the most loyal got limits. When he can't even respect y'all investment, the money, the time, the hope you put in them, cancel shows, and instead feeds you PR lies and broken promises, it makes sense why even the loudest Drizzy diehards going ghost online. Even they peep the change. Meanwhile, look at Kendrick's camp. They celebrating with the community, giving fans free pop-up performances, showing love to the crowd. That's the kind of energy that builds legacy, not just hype. But let's get into what the industry really thinking about all this. Word behind the scenes is Drake's cancellations and lazy rollout got folks reevaluating if he really worth all the fuss. Some folks straight up saying the tour cancellations was because the arenas wasn't filling up. that he couldn't risk posting pics of empty seats when the world could screenshot and meme it forever. Ain't nobody trying to admit they on the decline, but the silence spoke louder than any tweet. The artists who used to line up for OVO features, not so pressed anymore. They chasing that Kendrick magic instead. Label execs are looking to Kendrick to set trends, not Drizzy. Even the radio, not like us on heavy rotation, while Drake's latest singles sound like they came straight out the audio recycling bin. And then the wildest part was watching Drake still trying to save face, going city to city with Party Next Door, attempting these little pop-up sets, giving away merch just to put bodies in seats. But it's clear, half those rooms wasn't there for the music. They showed up just to see if he'd address the cancellations or the beef, and each time it was just more silence. Drake trying to ride out the storm, posting up like nothing happened, expecting people to move past it. Never once a direct statement about what he owes his fans. It's cowardly, and it sets a trash precedent for the whole industry. Now, let's talk contrast, because bro, this ain't just about bashing Drake. It's about showing what leaders in this game supposed to do when the SHO gets tough. When Kendrick caught backlash or rumors, he didn't disappear. He dropped a classic, he popped up in the community, spoke with his chest out, owned up to his journey. He ain't hiding behind logistics emails or blaming everybody else when shows flop either. Even if the venues ain't packed, those who pull up leave feeling like they witnessed something legendary. That's how you build something that lasts, by giving back and showing up, not by ducking the crowd and ghosting haters. And look, it ain't like Drake couldn't have flipped all this into a W. He could have hit fans with a real apology, offered refunds without making folks wait months, or even pulled a few intimate shows for those who held out. Could have popped up on IG Live, told fans where his head's at, admitted he lost the momentum, but planned on coming back harder. The culture and the industry would have respected that, even the ones who clowning him right now. But now he picked the easy corporate PR way out. That's what's so crazy too. The dude with all the resources in the world, all the platinum plaques. And this is how he treat the same folks who got him here? L for life, bruh. You can't buy your way out of that kind of mess. What happened next? Kendrick just kept stacking wins, breaking records that Drake used to brag about. In Drake's own hometown, Kendrick shut down venues, left nobody in doubt who holding the crown now. This ain't even about numbers. It's about respect, presence, and leadership. Every time Kendrick hits a stage, that sense of history, unity, the spirit of hip-hop is there. And Drake, out here caught up in optics, prioritizing his image over real connection, letting numbers drift while he scrambled for attention that used to come so easy. So what is all this saying about the current state of hip-hop? It's showing the difference between legacy and hype. Kendrick building up something that's gonna last. An artist willing to risk it all, own up, go against the grain, and stand on it. Drake used to have that, but somewhere along the line, he started playing it safe, trying to please too many people, losing that hunger. That's why these losses keep stacking up. Only real way out, drop the PR mask, reconnect with the people, and BET on artistry over corporate SAE. Until then, you can cancel shows, swipe away comments, mute the drama all you want, but public opinion already moved on. So if you still holding out a hope for Drizzy, I get it, loyalty is real, but all I gotta say is start asking for better. Hold your icons accountable. Real artistry ain't about running when the numbers dip, it's about what you do when the lights dim and the room go quiet. Kendrick's out here giving a blueprint on how to keep this rap sheet meaningful for the long run. Drake's blueprint got too many blank pages right now. Y'all, that's the breakdown. If you made it this far, you a real one. Run them likes up, hit subscribe, and drop how you feeling in the comments. Was this Drake fall off overdue, or you think he got another comeback tucked away? Cause right now, it look like Kendrick ain't just winning. He proving who's really built for this. Don't go nowhere, cause this saga ain't over. And if there's more drama, you know I'm on it. Stay tuned, keep it real, stay winning.